The following is an instructional video on accurate spinal analysis for chiropractors holding a first degree.
My name is Dr. Pelham Andrew McSween. I'm a practicing chiropractor. I have practices established in Trinidad and Tobago and Grenada. And during my years of practice, I've recognized that chiropractors need all the tools available to them to become better at what they do and better practitioners. So this video is designed primarily for the practicing chiropractor, the chiropractor who has already achieved his or her doctorate in chiropractic. Here on my view box, I have a lateral cervical 11x17 film of a patient, which I'm going to analyze, and so you can see what are the inner workings of the chiropractor. I'm going to get into the lines and show you where the angles are and tell you what I have found after the markings. Now, I'm going to use my basic tools, and that is the geometry set, the protractor and all, and the rulers, and find out my angles and draw my lines and identify what I'm looking for. As I said, this is a primary introduction to something larger, because this is going to involve the cervical, thoracic, and lumbosacral region, and then clinical implications. This day, I am going to focus a bit just on the cervical region and some of the markings. So here in my view box, again, I have 11x17, and that 11x17 I am now going to analyze. I am going to run my lines through it and then tell you what I find. So I'm going to take my protractor, and I'm going to draw a line between the anterior and the posterior tubercles of atlas to start my curve. And then I'm going to draw another line. Actually, I'm going to draw two lines, one at the inferior end plate of C7 and the superior end plate of C7, and then connect my lines. And so, having done that, I found out that the angle of this patient's cervical curve is 25 degrees. Now, any angle of the cervical curve less than 35 degrees is what referred to as a hypolordotic neck. That means that the patient has lost a certain amount of curvature of that spine, and it can be a pathological condition that patient can experience. The other thing is that if that curve was above 45 degrees, then the patient would have had what is referred to as hyperlordotic, which is also a pathological condition that comes with a host of signs and symptoms, pain in the arm, tingling in the fingers, etc., etc. This is primary to the analysis of a patient's cervical curve. And then I'm going to go into another film, which is an anterior to posterior open mouth, to look for laterality, where the bones have moved with respect to the odontoid and atlas. In this film here, we have an anterior to posterior open mouth, again 11x17. And the open mouth is to identify odontoid. If the mouth was closed, odontoid would not be identified. And here in my pencil is the odontoid process. Above that is atlas, and underneath this is axis. I'm looking at a host of things here in this patient's neck. I'm looking at the odontoid. I'm looking at the lateral masses of atlas. I'm also looking at the lateral masses of axis and where odontoid goes up into atlas. At the side of the odontoid, there are two spaces which I've already measured, and one space is larger, which is the ADI space, and the other is smaller. And the spinous process of axis has really shifted. And therefore, the spinal process of axis has gone basically right. And so we have laterality, meaning the axis has rotated over to the right. And so the ADI space is larger, is wider. It's about 4 millimeters as compared to the ADI space on the left. This is basically an introductory course into the further analysis of the cervical spine. And so, till next time, I'm Dr. McSween. See you.
This video is designed to instruct chiropractors holding a first degree on accurate spinal analysis. For further information or to obtain copies of this video, call 1473-439-6334 or 405-6334.